This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com, and today via Skype I have former WWE, WCW, and TNA head writer, also former WCW World Champion, Vince Russo.
Very nice. I had to correct you on that last time, right, Hannibal?
Yes, you did, yes. And I just wanted, before we get into this, I have called you a wrestling expert, and I get a lot of heat for calling you an expert. But is it safe to say you've made over $1 million in wrestling, possibly?
Oh, God. I mean, in my career, I mean, before taxes, I mean, yeah, that's definitely fair to say.
So just by the amount of money you've made in wrestling, that would make you an expert because you'd have to know something about the subject.
Well, bro, it depends. What do people want to say? Like what are they questioning my expertise in? Bro, am I a wrestler? Have I ever claimed to be a wrestler? Am I an expert in the actual wrestling aspect? Like, am I an expert like Ric Flair or Dusty Rhodes or Terry Funk? Absolutely not. No, I'm not a wrestler. Why would I be an expert in that field if I am not an expert? Am I an expert in writing television? Yes. Am I an expert in writing? Yes. I've written several books. I've written pilots, for Fox. Am I an expert in writing wrestling for television? Yes. But, if anybody claims to be an expert in wrestling and they're not wrestlers, then they need to kind of look at themselves, because I've never, ever claimed to be an expert when it comes to the actual wrestling. That wasn't my job. My job was television, writing a television show, producing. I think I'm an expert in producing all those areas, but no, bro, like I'm not a wrestler, nor is Dave Meltzer, nor is Wade Keller, nor is Mike Johnson and Dave Scherer. None of those guys are wrestlers. You are a wrestler, bro, correct?
Yes, that's correct. But
And
what I
you
mean
are an
is,
expert. Then you are an expert.
yeah, but I mean, as far as the understanding of the business and how it works, you know a thing or two about it.
I think I know a thing or two about it, bro. I started in the wrestling business in 91. I was hired by the WWE in like 93, 94. I think I know a little something about wrestling.
Now, before we get into the questions, I think you had something you wanted to get off your chest here regarding AEW and WWE continuing to run during the health situation. You said you're not exactly a supporter of this.
Bro, I'm just going to be as blatantly honest as I could possibly be. Whatever heat I get, I really don't care. There are a lot of really stupid people in the wrestling business, and I am so sick and tired of, for whatever reason, wrestling is above it all. While everybody else is trying to abide by the rules and play by the rules at this point in time, not only for our own safety, but for the safety of others. Of course, those rules don't abide to those in the WWE. Baseball shut down. They sent all the players home. NHL, NBA, even the XFL, for crying out loud. Professional entertainment. Television studios shut down. Movie studios shut down. Everybody shut down in accordance with what we're being told for the safety of ourselves and others. The fact that wrestling companies are performing shows in front of 0 people and not only putting their own athletes in harm's way, but every single person that those athletes may be crossing on a daily basis is just incomprehensible. But that right there tells you the type of individuals that we have working in the wrestling industry that have absolutely zero accord for not only the people that work for them, but anybody else that those people could come across on any given day. To me, it's a joke, and it tells you everything you need to know about the wrestling business.
So you don't feel they should be making their talent fly across the country to get to these shows and also actually be all together in one building to tape the actual episodes, just because it's what talent, production people, producers, lighting people.
Bro, you're talking about, because I worked at the WWE. I can't speak for AEW, but it's the same thing. Bro, you're talking about at least 50 people. I mean, there's a minimum of 50 people gathered at the Performance Center. Same goes for AEW, between talent, between producers, between directors, between crew guys. There are at least 50 people. And bro, we're not just talking about those 50 people. Those people have to go to the airport, come in contact with other people at the airport, come in contact with other people on the airplane, come in contact with people at the airport they're landing on, come in contact with people at the car rental counter, come in contact with people when they're stopping at convenience stores, needing to get gas, come in contact with people when they go to their hotel rooms. So you have 50 people that are coming in contact with God knows how many people. It just boggles my mind that professional sports and the entertainment industry can abide by the rules, but wrestling, as always, is above the rules.
So what would you do if you were running one of those companies and you didn't want to lose the TV money and you had that TV time to fill?
It's really simple, bro. First of all, bro, if the WWE really wanted to get ratings, if the AEW really wanted to get ratings, now is the time, bro, where your program should be how a multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar company is dealing with the coronavirus. That should be the show. How you're dealing with it, bro. How you're making these decisions about WrestleMania. How you're dealing with the talent. How you're keeping your talent safe. The creative meetings. How are we going to come up with the content? That should be the show. The fact that they're performing in front of nobody is a joke, and it looks like a joke, and it's stupid. Bro, every talent out there owns an iPhone. Every talent on your roster can film footage for you at home, what they're doing at home, how they feel about the situation, what they're doing to protect their families. If they have to go to the grocery store, if they have to do this, they have to do that. My God, bro, the WWE has over 200 people on their roster. They can all record different things of how they're dealing with this. But no, bro, we're gonna put our talent in harm's way. We're gonna put the people they deal with in harm's way so we could put on a show in front of no people. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life, bro. And it tells you spades about the wrestling business.
Now, I think it's dumb too, but I'm a little shocked that they're still recording the TV shows as if there was a crowd there with the same stale promo format and so forth. Are you surprised that they're not being more creative?
I am not surprised at all, bro. They all live in the wrestling bubble. That is all they know how to do. Why do you think, bro, that nobody in that company is thinking of what I just told you? Let's make this, bro. They could win an Emmy for that. Literally, bro, they could be an Emmy-winning show. We have a live television show on TV every week. Let the people see how our company is dealing with this virus, bro. That could help people. That could reassure people, bro. That could lift some fear from people. That could make Vince McMahon and Stephanie McMahon and Triple H human beings, bro. Seeing them at home with their families. Bro, they don't even think along those lines because I've said it for years, bro. They're encased inside of this wrestling bubble and they only know how to do things one way. And you're seeing that every single week now. You're going to see it for the next 2 to 3 months when they continue to put on these shows in front of no people. And bro, as more and more weeks go by, it's going to look stupider and stupider and stupider and stupider, and they still are not going to make the adjustments.
Do you think AEW will eventually throw in the towel on continuing to put on events? We've seen that they stopped this War Games match that was supposed to happen this week.
Well, bro, one thing I do want to give the WWE credit because I was actually reading over the weekend that I think now they finally realized they're going to tape shows. So I give them credit for that, bro. Listen, I don't think anybody should be going to the Performance Center. Nobody, bro. But if they're going to do it anyway, bro, at least tape 4 weeks of stuff while you have the people there. So I am glad to see that kind of an adjustment. Bro, I can't, again, I don't know. We're talking about, bro, at least 2 to 3 months of this type of programming. I can't see, bro, how they can continue this for the next 2 or 3 months. The novelty is going to wear off. They're going to expose wrestling more than it's ever been exposed before. And, unfortunately, bro, like I said, when you're all in that bubble, you're not looking at different ways to attack this.
Have you seen this social distancing match that Joey Janela did that's making the rounds of the internet now where they're taking bumps from like 5 or 6 feet away from each other?
No, I have not, bro. No, that's what I mean, bro. You're going to expose the business, bro. You know what the funny thing is, Hannibal? Bro, seriously, you can have sporting events with no people there. It's not going to affect the game. The players are going to be playing the same. Okay, bro. Wrestling is not conducive to that. Bro, you're going to expose the business. The more and more you do this, you're going to be blatantly showing people, this is choreographed. The guys and the gals are working together. This is not real. Wrestling is not cut out for this. And the longer they do it, the more they're going to expose the business.
Now, going back to the AEW and NXT Wednesday Night War before all this started happening, AEW's been winning pretty easily overall. They actually, I think, over doubled NXT last week. But what's been your opinion on this whole situation? If NXT continues to lose, I understand Triple H is in charge of it. Do you ever see them replacing Triple H?
Well, bro, first of all, this AEW started October 2nd. So we're looking at 6 months now. Okay. This is what I am looking at, bro. As a guy, as an expert, When I wrote for all three companies, when I wrote for WCW, WWE, and TNA, when I wrote for all three companies, all the company cared about, all the network cared about, and we're talking about three different networks now that I work for, was ratings. How many people watch your show? The more people that watch your show, the more money is going to be made across the board. It's that simple. Everything starts with the show. Bro, here's what I've been looking at on Wednesday nights. What is the combined number of viewers between the two shows? Because it's going to go back and forth every week, bro. You know, one week NXT is going to be a little higher. Then maybe there was something hot on AEW. Then maybe NXT had Charlotte Flair on. Those numbers are going to go back and forth every week. I'm looking at the bottom line. For 6 months, the combined number of two shows, bro, is about 1.5 to 1.7 million people. That has not grown one iota. That tells me, bro, that these companies combined are not bringing not one new viewer towards their show. I don't know, bro, how you can continue to stay in business. I don't care what your business is. Let's talk about your business, Hannibal. Let's talk about Vince Russo's brand. Bro, if you don't have more customers and you don't continue to grow the base and you don't make more money, you're going to eventually be out of business. They are not growing the base, bro. The same people are watching the show week after week after week after week. That is not a healthy model for any business, bro. I don't care what that business is. You have to grow. You've got to get more viewers. You've got to generate more revenue. In 6 months, they have not done that at all.
I see. Now, I had a fan that wanted you to clarify exactly when you started as head writer for WWE. So, as far as when we're going back to watch those classic Raws, around what time did you actually start writing them?
Bro, I think it was probably around when it was just me, pretty much. Probably around March of 97, I would say. I would say probably around that time.
Now, are you going to watch the Vice episode on Brawl for All, since you pretty much invented the idea for Brawl for All?
Well, I was a big part of that, bro, when they recorded. I'm not going to watch it. Bro, I'll be honest, man. I have not watched any of those Vice shows. Hannibal, I hate to say this, bro, but I only watch wrestling when I have to. It's part of my job. It's part of what I do. When I have to watch it to fulfill my obligation with my subscribers, I watch it. But when I don't, I don't. So I probably won't watch that episode.
I don't blame you for that. And do you have any stories from the early days of TNA?
Oh, man. Bro, it was just... I think it's very similar to what's happening at AEW now. The early days of TNA, everybody was in it for all the right reasons. It was pure. We worked together. We wanted to be successful. We were all on the same team. And it was very pure and it was very refreshing. But, bro, I hate to tell you, and again, it's just a wrestling thing. Over time, it just turns into the wrestling business. And all of a sudden, it started turning into exactly what I experienced at WCW. exactly what I experienced at the WWE. The innocence was no longer there. And eventually, bro, it turns into money, it turns into greed, it turns into ego. And at that point, what it becomes, bro, is a job. Your passion is taken out of it. And now, every week you're just going to a job. It happened at TNA, bro. The same exact thing is going to happen with AEW. It's the wrestling business, man.
Now, I haven't heard anything about TNA's ratings or Impact Wrestling's ratings in probably a year or so, and I don't think they release them anymore. But what's your opinion on this Tessa Blanchard winning the men's world title in that company?
Bro, I don't have a problem with that because, bro, like when you're writing a television show every single week. See, bro, here's the difference, okay? When I was writing the television shows, when I was writing the shows with Ed, bro, we never wanted to repeat anything you may have seen before. It's like, bro, if we were writing something, Ed and I would say, wait a minute, bro, we've seen this before, or we've done this before. And, bro, we would trash it. We always wanted to come up with something new, and we always wanted to come up with something different. Bro, in order to do that, you got to throw the rules of wrestling and the wrestling handbook out the window. You got to open up the envelope creatively. That's what people bro, that's what the marks don't understand, because they're not TV people. So they're not looking at a television show. They're looking at a wrestling show. When you look at a television show, bro, you want it to be different every single week. That's why David Arquette won the belt. That's why Vince Russo won the belt. That's why Vince McMahon won the belt. That's why Shane McMahon won the belt. That's why Stephanie McMahon became a character on TV. You have to open up the creative envelope to give it different looks. Bro, I watch AEW every week, okay? It's turned into the same exact show every single week. Hannibal, do you realize in the last 4 hours of AEW programming, there's been one singles match? One singles match, bro, in the last 4 hours. Why? Because, bro, everything is either a tag, a 6-man, an 8-man, a 4-corner, multiple wrestlers, so everybody could get their spots in. Bro, we've seen it. There's nothing new. When we were writing, we wanted it to be fresh. We didn't want it to be the same old every week. So if them putting the belt on Tessa opens up that creative envelope for them, bro, more the power to them. The only thing I say is, bro, you got to do it in a way where it's believable. Bro, people talk about David Arquette all the time, okay? Bro, David Arquette did not beat a wrestler. David Arquette was in a tag team match, and by a fluke, he beat Eric Bischoff. So logically, that could have happened. Bro, the way I won the title, Bill Goldberg almost killed me, spearing me through a cage. I didn't beat anybody, bro. I didn't beat a wrestler. I got concussed when I won the title. As long as they booked Tessa in a believable way, all the power to him, bro.
Now, you mentioned Goldberg. Do you think he should win that match at WrestleMania against Roman Reigns? He's probably better known by the mainstream media than Roman is at this point in time.
Bro, I really think it's hard for me to say because I really don't know what Goldberg's got left in the tank. You know, I will say this, bro. He looks freaking phenomenal. He looks absolutely phenomenal. But, you know, again, bro, being the champion of that company, bro, you got to be prepared to work every night. You got to be prepared to be on the road every day. I mean, that's what comes for the job, bro. You do not have a day off. I don't know if at this point in his life, that's what Goldberg wants. I tend to think it probably isn't. But it really depends, bro, what the guy has left in the tank. And I don't know because I'm not working with him.
And you mentioned writing for TV all the time. Have you ever written for a non-wrestling TV show, or is that something that you're interested in doing at some point?
No, bro, I actually wrote a pilot. Fox, back in the day, they paid me to write a pilot. And they wanted me to write a pilot about wrestling. Bro, this is back in 98, 99. Bro, the pilot I wrote them was what really happens behind the curtain. I wrote a reality type of script so people could get a glimpse into the wrestling business. When I handed that off to the Fox executives, bro, they didn't understand it. And they're like, no, we don't want this. We want a show where men in their underwear are hitting each other over the head with chairs. And I said to them, I said, you know what? I'm not interested in writing that show. I wanted to give you a real look and a real account of the wrestling business. That's what I gave you. I'm not going to write a show where we're making fun of or we're poking fun of the wrestling business. I'm not interested in doing that. But that was the only time. I've written some pilots on my own, but I've never really done anything with them. But at this point in my career, do I want to do anything like that? Nah, I think that ship has kind of sailed.
Now, I don't want any real detail on this, but a fan wanted me to ask you about what you think of Jim Cornette allegedly selling like copies of this restraining order at conventions and stuff. I guess he sells copies of it.
Bro, I honestly, bro, I could care less what Jim Cornette does. I mean, Jim Cornette's going to do whatever Jim Cornette wants to do. It doesn't affect me. I was in a situation where I had moved and I was in a very close proximity. And people don't understand. Bro, I wasn't afraid of Jim Cornette. I was afraid of some of the crazies that follow Jim Cornette. And I was tipped off by somebody very close to Jim Cornette at the time that I had to kind of keep my eyes open to some of Jim Cornette's followers who were threatening certain things to me and my family. Now, keep in mind, bro, at that time, I had moved to Indiana. So I was in a very close proximity to Jim Cornette's fan base. So not to take any chances, bro, I filed a restraining order, whereas, God forbid, one of those crazed fans would have showed up at my door, you know, my wife being home alone, with whatever. I did that to strictly protect my family. Jim Cornette thought it was a big joke. Jim Cornette is selling the restraining order. Bro, I really could care less what Jim Cornette does. It is of no importance to me. It is no longer an issue. Obviously, I moved back to Colorado. Thank God I don't have to worry about that anymore. So it's a non-issue.
And another fan wanted me to ask you what you think about Davey Boy Smith going into the Hall of Fame and any memories of working with him.
Bro, I think that's awesome. I love Davey Boy Smith. I loved working with him. The one thing that always stands out in my mind, bro, was every time I needed him to do a pre-tape, Bro, it always took forever he was constantly oiling up, bro. That's all he would do. He would put oil on top of oil on top of oil. Bro, you'd have to wait for him to oil up. Then he would show up on the set. Then when he's on the set, he's oiling up between takes. And I used to be like, Davey, like literally, bro, like how much oil are you going to put on? But bro, I never ever had an issue working with the guy. He was always good to me, man. One of the early stories I have, bro, I'll never forget is WrestleMania 10, which was at Madison Square Garden, and I think it was the first ever fan fest. I was the editor of the magazine at the time, bro, and one of the things that I had to do on that day was I literally had to babysit Davey Boy's kids. So I'll never forget that, bro, because Harry was, Harry was a kid, and I think his daughter's name is Georgianne. Is that it? Georgia. Yeah, they were kids, bro. Like WrestleMania 10, we're going back 25 years, whatever it is, we're going back, and I'll never forget that. But no, bro, I'm delighted for him. I always loved Diana. I always had a good relationship with Diana. I'm delighted for the kids. God bless him, man. Good for him.
And I had another fan that wanted me to ask you if you were the one that came up with the Austin Pillman gun angle.
No, that was before I was in charge of the creative. That was really on Bruce's dime, bro. I don't know exactly who came up with that, but I was not involved with creative on a full-time basis at that point.
How was Bruce to work with? Now he's come out with his podcast, so all of his behind-the-scenes stories are more known, but I don't think I ever asked you about that before.
Bro, I'll tell you from a professional and from a personal standpoint. Bro, I've said this many times. From a professional standpoint, Bruce Prichard was the absolute best producer of talent that I ever worked with. Bro, he was better than me. I have no problem saying that. Bruce was my mentor. I learned from Bruce. Producing talent, Bruce blows me out of the water. I think I'm pretty good at it. Bro, he's off the charts. Professionally, it's a whole different, personally, bro, it's a whole different story. You just can't trust Bruce. Bro, you could think Bruce is your friend, but in order to gain favor with Vince behind your back, Bruce is going to do everything that puts him in the spotlight and that puts you in the dark. And you could think, bro, me and my wife used to go out with Bruce and his wife all the time. Bruce used to have my family over. Bruce knew my kids. Okay, bro. But when it came to business and it came to his positioning with Vince McMahon, which was very, very important to him, bro, he would do whatever he had to do to be Vince's number one, no matter what it did to you and your career, no matter what it did to you on a personal level. And bro, with the guy, you always had to have eyes in the back of your head. Bro, I have caught him many times on his podcast just outright lying. And bro, it isn't a case of my word against his. Every time he lies, bro, I prove it. I go to the people involved. And I'm like, bro, like, am I forgetting something, or did this ever happen? And bro, I've exposed him just blatantly lying. And it's not my word against his. And bro, even when I expose him, there's no apology. There's nothing. And bro, to me, that's a full-blown liar. Like when there are no regrets and no apologies, bro, the last thing he did that really upset me was, bro, when Taz came into the WWE, okay? Taz had contacted me when I was the head writer. Bro, I never knew Taz. I never met Taz. I never had a conversation with Taz. But Taz contacted me, and I said, Taz, let me present this to Vince and see if there's any interest there. Okay? Vince was interested, and he had me set up a meeting with Taz. Okay? Bro, as soon as I set up the meeting with Taz, okay, I'm done with it. The only time I'm going to be involved with Taz again is if Vince signs Taz and Taz becomes a talent and I have to write and produce Taz. But once I make that introduction to Vince, I'm done with it, bro. Like, I'm done. So, bro, of course, Bruce goes on his podcast, and Bruce tells us a story that's very, very different. And Bruce's story was that behind JR's back, I was talking to Taz about his contract. And I was negotiating Taz's contract, me and Taz, behind Jim Ross's back. Bro, I have never had anything to do with anybody's contract ever. Bro, I did not know what people were being paid. I did not know the terms of any contracts. Bro, that's a talent relation issue. I'm the writer of the show. So now what Bruce is doing is now he's trying to create waves between me and Jim Ross, saying I went behind Jim Ross and I was negotiating Taz's contract, right? So, bro, I'm like, Bruce, you're full of shit, bro. Never happened. I never spoke to Taz for 1 second about his contract, right? Bro, that night, Taz texted me. And he says, bro, I want you to know, man, I got your back on this. The next day, bro, Conrad Thompson was a guest on Taz's podcast. And Taz turned around and said, Conrad, what's the situation with something that you said concerning me and Vince? And of course, bro, Conrad tries to take it in another direction, and he starts going into this soliloquy of how, Vince Russo has turned into a madman and a lunatic, and Vince Russo has decided that he hates Bruce Prichard and Eric. And Taz was like, no, bro, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you guys said on your show that Vince and I negotiated my contract. And Taz said, Conrad, Vince and I never spoke about my contract. The only thing Vince and I ever spoke about was anything that had to do with TV. So to set the record straight, bro, that never happened. Did freaking Conrad and Bruce ever come back and say, you know what? We were wrong. It never happened. Taz set the story. No, bro, not at all. They'll just go on to the next lie and the next lie and the next lie and the next lie. And, bro, that's how Bruce is as a friend.
And that happens on almost all of Conrad's podcasts, by the way, as I'm sure you know.
Bro, I've been told by people that work with Conrad, Hannibal, if you listen to my show, okay, bro, do I take credit for something I did? Yes. If somebody says, Vince, was this your idea? Was that your idea? Was this your idea? Yes, that was. When something wasn't my idea, I have no problem giving it to whoever's idea it was. All those rock catchphrases, bro, I did not come up with one of them. Austin 3. I wish I came up with Austin 316. I wish I wrote Austin's King of the Ring promo. I didn't write that shit. I got no problem saying I didn't write that shit. Austin wrote all that. Rock came up with all those catchphrases. When something wasn't my idea, bro, I have no problem saying that. But, bro, the most important thing is when I don't remember something, I will say I don't remember. Okay? Bro, I've been told by somebody that works directly with Conrad, bro, on these shows that Conrad does, with the exception of Tony Schiavone, on the Eric show, on the Bruce show, bro, when those guys don't remember something, they'll just make shit up. They'll just make shit up, bro. And the fact of the matter is, they don't even remember. When I don't remember something, bro, I'll say I don't remember. If you think I'm bullshitting or I'm trying to hide something because I'm saying I don't remember, no, bro, I literally don't remember. I am not going to make up shit just so I could tell you a good story.
Yeah. They actually, on Jim Ross's podcast with Conrad a few months ago, they told a really bad story about Rene Dupree and Pat Patterson, but it was actually about Sylvain Patterson, who was Rene's partner. And I asked Rene about it, and he said it was Sylvain. I tweeted about it to Jim Ross. Jim Ross retweeted he was sorry for the mistake. But the next week, no correction on the show.
Of course.
They defamed
and bro,
him.
let me make one thing straight, perfectly clear. Bro, Jim Ross and Tony Schiavone are stand-up guys. Bro, do you know of all the people I had heat with? Okay, the Eric Bischoffs of the world, the Jim Cornettes of the world, the Bruce Prichard. Bro, do you know I never had an issue with Jim Ross? Bro, do you know why I never had an issue with Jim Ross? Because Jim Ross and I, from day one, 100% honest with each other. Jim Ross never lied to me. Jim Ross never tried to bury me behind Vince's back. Jim Ross was never about power. Jim Ross was never about ego, never about any of those things, bro. I never had an issue with Jim Ross. Tony Schiavone, the same way. Bro, Eric Bischoff and Bruce Prichard, they're freaking carnies, bro. That's what they are. Nothing is their fault. They will say shit because it makes up a good story when they are proven to be incorrect without a shadow of a doubt. Just like you said, bro, no retraction, nothing. They think people are just going to forget. Doesn't work that way, bro.
Now, for Eric Bischoff, he had a very short tenure as head of creative for a while there with, I think it was Smackdown, before Bruce took it over. Are you surprised it was that short? It doesn't seem like he had much of a chance at all there.
No, I was surprised it was that short. I mean, there's no question in my mind. But, bro, here's a perfect example, and I'm telling you by experience. Bro, you hear about this, Eric talks about it all the time. The great relationship he has with Bruce. Him and Bruce are best buds and their wives hang out. Yeah, guess what, Eric? I've been there too. Okay, me and my wife hung out with Bruce and his wife. Bruce had my family over his house. I went down that same road. But this is how it works, Hannibal. This is how it works. If Vince McMahon had one negative thought about Eric Bischoff and brought it up to Bruce Prichard, forget it. Game over, bro. Because Bruce would jump on that horse's back, bro. Bruce would take that one little issue that Vince had with Eric. He would blow it up, bro. And the next thing you know, Eric, who believes Bruce is his best friend, is now on the outside looking in. That's how it works, bro, especially when it comes to those two guys. So Did the amount of time surprise me, bro? I did not think it was going to happen in 83 days. Would it have eventually happened? Absolutely, bro, without a doubt, because all people like that care about is power. That's all they care about, bro. Power, money, position, where they sit with Vince. That's all they care about. So, bro, they slowly but surely, it's like a big chess game, and everybody's taking the other guy out. That's why, bro, like I could not exist in that world. I was a writer, bro. I wanted to write a good television show. I didn't care about the rest of that bullshit. I didn't want to be Vince's favorite person, bro. That's not the shit that mattered to me. What mattered to me was how many people are watching this show on Monday night. That's all that mattered to me. That's why now, bro, I want to be as far away from that as possible. I'm too old for it, bro. Those guys, it's going to put them in the grave. It is taking years off of their lives. The lying, bro, the chess playing, the backstabbing. Bro, you guys can have all of that. I want nothing to do with it, bro.
And it's no different in the wrestling side of it than the creative. But last question here, because you've been very gracious with your time, not including the Owen Hart thing, because you've already explained that to me on here. It's got hundreds of thousands of views. We know that angle was kind of forced on you, but is there any angle from your career that you've written that you actually regret that you wrote?
Well, I mean, do you mean regret or hate?
Hate.
Yeah, hate. I hate stuff. I don't regret it, bro. Like, I don't think I did anything bad enough to regret it. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, I didn't hurt anybody. You know what I mean, to regret it. And again, bro, I told you what happened with the Owen story. It was never written in. Steve Taylor, who was, in charge of operations, basically made a phone call to me after the show was written. And he said, bro, Sting's, what do you call them? I don't know. What would you call them, bro?
Yeah, I don't know. Harness people or stuff.
Yeah, Steve, basically they want to come to our show. They want to work with us. They want to show us what they could do. Could you think of anybody where we can do something like this with? And then I looked down my script and I saw the blue blazer, and that's how it happened, bro.
Yeah.
So like, do I regret that? No, bro. Like, I don't regret that. Like, that's how it happened.
And you can hire those people, by the way, too, because I got a lot of comments that people think you actually went out and personally hired that company. You weren't in charge of hiring stunt teams, right?
Bro, I wrote the show. I wrote the show. That's all I did. But bro, the one thing that was far and away, bro, I've done bad things. I mean, the things that come to mind that I know were bad. One thing was horrible, bro, was we had, and bro, I told you earlier, Hannibal, always looking to try new things. Always. I did not want to repeat things. So, bro, we did in the TNA, we did a match between Abyss and Sting. That was, I think, the Stairway to Heaven match. And it was the first one that escaped to this big platform and got taken up to the heavens, was the winner. Horrible, just horrible. But I'm trying to do something different. Now, in that same token, the electrified cage, bro, if I'm telling you the Stairway to Heaven idea was a horrible idea, 100% my idea, okay? Would I have a problem telling you, bro, the electrified cage was my idea? Would I have a hard time telling you that? No, I wouldn't. The only problem is, bro, that was not my idea. I had nothing to do with that electrified cage idea. My absolute worst idea, without a shadow of a doubt, Hannibal, and I'll tell you why. And this is why you got to be so careful sometimes. The Kennel from Hell match. And Hannibal, I'll tell you why. As I came up with the concept of the match, And as I'm seeing the match in my mind, bro, I am seeing these rabid police attack canine dogs circling that ring, showing their teeth, growling, salivating. This is what I'm imagining in my head. Okay? So, bro, I remember the day of the show, man. I'm getting together, Boss Man, Al Snow, we're going over the match. All of a sudden, bro, they bring in the dogs. Okay? Hannibal, I'll never forget this. I'm staying there. Somebody comes, Vince, here are the dogs for the match. Bro, these dogs walk up to me and they start licking my hand. And bro, like I knew right then and there, bro, you're effed. Like, bro, this is not what you thought. These are like pets. And like I knew, bro, I knew it. I'm like, bro, this is going to be like the absolute worst thing. And it was absolutely horrible. I felt so bad for Al, and I felt so bad for Boss Man. I apologize to them a million times. But bro, that just goes to show you, like, when you're writing something, in your mind, you can really envision something. But bro, when it turns out reality, it might not be exactly what you thought it was going to be. That was one of those circumstances.
And finally, where can people subscribe to your network? Where could they listen to your podcast and follow you on social media?
Is that, bro, I want to ask you, is that an Iowa hat?
Yes.
Did you go to Iowa?
I only went to the Hall of Fame there a couple times, and that's where I got the hat. Oh. I didn't actually go to school there.
Bro, I want to tell you this about you and your show. I'm a big fan of you, and I'm a big fan of your show. I am a big fan of you, bro, because you are a professional. You handle yourself like a professional. You're in the business. You know what the hell you're talking about. Bro, I watch many of your interviews on YouTube. Bro, the freaking Billy Jack Haynes interview. Bro, let me ask you this. Let me interview you now for a second. What are you thinking about while he's just telling you he murdered people? What are you thinking about during that interview, bro?
Oh boy. Well, you could only imagine what the uncut version looks like.
Oh my God, bro. Can you see that anywhere?
I don't think I'm going to put it out for the protection of, I don't want him to look too bad.
Yeah.
But no, all I'm trying to do in that is try to keep him on topic, because he'll go off on a million different topics.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That
He's
blew
a
me
nice
away.
guy, but I don't believe that he actually participated as an accomplice to murdering children, or he would be in jail right now.
Bro, I could not believe that interview. But I watch a lot of your work, bro, on YouTube. I really enjoy your work, man. You're a good dude. You're doing good stuff, even right down to your background. Freaking awesome stuff, bro. So that's why, I was glad you reached out to me. I like coming on your show. Bro, I'm doing a ton of podcasting myself now, and I have 2 different platforms with a menu of 2 different shows. Hannibal, I got to tell you, bro, one of the reasons I got into podcasting is, bro, when wrestlers get older, it is harder for them to make income. Bro, they can't work anymore. They start doing the convention circuit, whatever they have to do to earn some money. Bro, one of my main plans when I started podcasting was I wanted to be able to pay some of the boys. And bro, I know you do the same thing. Okay? I wanted to be able to give them a platform where, you know what? Come on my show, do a show a week. I will pay you. The more you make, the more successful we are, the more I will pay you, because I wanted to be able to supplement their income, because I know how difficult it is. And I mean, bro, I look at my shows now, and I mean, I'm probably, helping supplement maybe 12 wrestlers right now. As my platform grows, bro, I'm able to give them more and more. That was one of the very important things that I wanted to do with my podcasting, and I'm able to do it, and it's great. Bro, like, I'll be honest with you. You compensate me for doing this interview. Bro, by you compensated me, the first thing I thought of was, you know what, bro? If I do Hannibal's show, I can use that compensation to compensate others. Honestly, bro. So
yeah, that's great.
And it's the truth. So, bro, it all gets it. It's all going to the right places. But I have two platforms. One's russosbrand.com. The other is patreon.com/RussoTWC. I am on Twitch all the time, bro, especially with what's going on in the world right now. I want to make sure everybody is okay. I want to make sure they got somebody to talk to. I want to make sure people aren't going crazy. You could follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Vince Russo Live.
Very good. And you have an excellent podcast as well. I check it out as well as your YouTube channel from time to time. So thanks a lot for joining us and being very candid. And hopefully we'll have you on again down the line.
Yeah, I hope so, bro. I love what you do. I'm a fan of yours, and I appreciate you very much, man.
And I'm actually a fan of yours too. I have to admit, I fell when I was younger for a lot of the propaganda out there about you, but the more I've researched you and the more I've actually talked to wrestlers directly about you and seen the respect they have for you, I've actually changed, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for you.
Well, bro, that's the one thing. Listen, I'm going to say this before we wrap up, because I do want to say this. Bro, I'm a Christian guy. Okay, I do a show every week, and I've been doing it from day one, called That's Life, where I kind of talk about spirituality, Christianity in today's world. Bro, it's free. I would never charge a dime for it. You can get it on every platform. Bro, if I stopped podcasting tomorrow, that show would go on. Because I know, bro, my journey in life, my journey in wrestling, I know that journey was all about me doing that show now. That I'm supposed to be doing that show. But, bro, the funny thing is, because I openly talk about my Christianity and I openly talk about my love for God, I know I'm going to be attacked. And why am I going to be attacked, bro? It's real simple. Because people who represent the world and don't want me putting over God, they want you to believe Vince Russo is a liar. Why? Because if Vince Russo is lying about all these things, then Vince Russo is clearly lying about God. That's what they want you to believe. But, Hannibal, the funny thing is, for all the times I've been by my by my detractors, all the times I've been painted as a liar. You know what I simply say? It's real simple. Okay, bro, I'm a liar. No problem. Number one, what did I lie about? What exactly have I lied about? Bro, that question's never been answered. Bro, one time in my wrestling career, Hannibal, bro, you don't mind if I go on a little longer, do you?
Nope.
Okay, Hannibal, one time in my wrestling career, I was hired as a consultant by Dixie Carter for TNA. Keep in mind, bro, I'm consulting for her. So that she's the boss. I'm consulting for her company. One of the things she requested was, Vince, I don't want anybody to know about this. If anybody ever finds out about this, she said the gig's over. Hannibal, I'll be honest with you, I don't know why. She never told me why. But being as a consultant and working for her, that's what she wanted. So I had to say, okay, Dixie, no problem. So during that time, when I was asked, are you working for TNA? Are you consulting for TNA? Bro, I had to say no, because that's what they requested of me. Okay? So yes, I lied, bro. I lied because that's what my employer wanted. Outside of that, bro, every time somebody calls me a liar, tell me what I've lied about that. Then, Hannibal, I go one step further. Bro, have me on your show. Expose me. Expose me in front of everybody of what a liar I am. Expose me. Have me on your show. Come on my show. Come on my show. Bro, if I'm this liar, expose me. Bro, not one single person. After Prichard spewed lies about me, I invited him on my show, did not come on the show, and of course, Conrad found the creative way to get out of it. Bischoff refuses to have a conversation with me. That's what I don't understand. Hannibal, if you know somebody is lying over and over and over and over again, and you can expose them as a liar, why would you turn down that opportunity?
Right.
So like that's my point, and I appreciate you, bro, having an open mind. Yeah, man, I've heard all these things about Vince. Let me do some research on my own to find out what kind of a guy this is. I really, really appreciate that, bro, because it is so easy to get led by other people. And that's why, bro, the way I feel about other people is my experiences with them. Not what somebody else told me. What are my personal experiences with them? So I thank you for having an open mind, bro.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Support us on patreon.com for $1.99 a month to watch our full shoot interviews ad-free and help our channel grow. Follow us on Twitter at the Hannibal TV for instant updates.